Today's show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, baby. I'm talking the top-rated sportsbooking app in all of North America. Safe, secure, reliable. I mean, those are the things that you need whenever you're talking about sports booking, right? But more importantly, we got promo codes, Deke. And Deke, this promo code is a promo code that we like, and I'm sure the football fans out there will like it as well. When you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and you make that initial $5 bet, put the promo code in, that is MOATS, M-O-A-T-S, and with that, you will receive $250 in bonus bets along with 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on DraftKings. Man, shout out to the homies over there doing an awesome thing, so that way you can follow your team with whoever they're playing, wherever they're playing, all right? But it'll also keep you up to date on potentially taking advantage of the anytime scoring options that DraftKings does offer, all right? But we also know sometimes, man, it might create a little bit of gambling problem. It happens. I get it, my friends, I do. If you're in New York, you know it's a number that you can text. But for everybody else, the digits to dial are 1-800-GAMBLER. Talking about Mr. New Money, Pat Freiermuth. We know prior to the game, this would have been Friday, I think it was. Friday, Saturday-ish.
Yeah.
And when he got his deal done, but Pat Freiermuth did sign a nice 4-year contract extension worth $48 million, included $11.6 million in total guarantees. So, how'd you feel about it? Average, what, 12 a year?
Yeah, a little bit over, right?
Over 12 a year, man. I know that was something that we were kind of like discussing prior to the deal getting done, asking, man, does it happen? Would you pay it? What would the number be? And in comparison to, you know, some of the other newer tight ends that were getting contracts, how did his deal work, you know, in comparison to those guys? How do we feel about it?
Yeah, I was good with it. Whenever I saw the numbers and everything, I think it's just a fair deal for both sides, because I think Muth has a case for earning that $12 million per year whenever you stack him up against other tight ends in the league and what they're getting paid, and specifically when they got paid their money. Njoku and who's the other one? Cole Kmet. They got their deals last offseason. And I think if you compare to what Njoku and Kmet did up to that point versus what Muth has done up to this point, that Muth has actually been a better tight end, put out more production. But they got, and this is 1 year earlier too, they got, I think Njoku got like 13-something, and then Kmet got 12-something. Yeah. So Muth's right in that range. I get that Njoku and Kmet had better seasons last year, but that was after they got paid. Yeah. Njoku had a career year. Kmet had a career year. Right. So credit to them. But I think it's fair if you just look at the market and what the other tight ends are getting. And then for the Steelers, this is what I was trying to check right now, if we could get more details on how
they could get out in year 2.
That's what I was wondering.
It's like an $8 million cap hit after 2025.
Yeah, because whenever it first came out, we didn't have those details.
Yeah, those
exactly.
Details. Same with Cam. We didn't have all his info either. Yeah.
So I'm looking at this cap hit. Yeah, you're right. In 2026, cap hit of 11.2, dead cap of 6, so that you could save $5 million there. Even next year, you could save 3 by cutting him. Yeah. It's a $12.8 million cap hit, 8.4 dead cap. So you could get out of this after a couple of years. It's not like it doesn't kill you, breaking the bank and you're cash strapped for future years. You look at it's only 11 total guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's kind of like it's not El Bell completely that deal, but it's kind of that where it was like a bigger number, but the guarantee portion, essentially a year's worth of guaranteed money.
This is even a better deal for the Steelers than I thought initially. So Muth gets some security.
Yeah, he gets the 11 up front. It's like essentially he'll make 12.5 year 1 total with the 11 mil signing bonus and the 1.5 base salary. So in that context, yes, he gets a ton of security year 1. He gets the team kind of believing in him year 1. But then within the organization, we kind of all would agree when you negotiate multi-year deals with the Steelers, the first 2 years are guaranteed.
Right, I was going to say, there's no way we're cutting them after
even though they don't,
this year.
They won't guarantee it on paper. It's one of them things like we all kind of know, like, yo, the second year is going to be guaranteed. After that is when it could be potentially weird, and that's why I wanted to look at that out that the Steelers had, and it kind of reflects that. It's like they got some security if they wanted to get out in a year from now. They could. We know that's not going to be the case, barring something just outlandish. But the following year is when they would have that real opportunity. So if it doesn't improve or it didn't produce this year, next year, they don't have to feel like they're stuck with it per se. But for Muth, you're still going to get, you said, pretty much 12 mil this year, another, in that vicinity next year. And then from there, as long as you're living up to it, like we saw with Njoku, like we saw with Cole Kmet, this isn't going to be an issue at all. No. And in fact, a couple of years, if he's playing to that level, he'll be trying to re-up, which would be a good problem to have. But I do like the deal, man. I'm kind of with you on that, man. I think for the Steelers, they are very protected and insulated, but I think it also
Omar Khan doesn't make a bad deal.
Yeah, I would agree, but I also feel like it gives Muth the security where he doesn't have to feel embarrassed or like he lost the negotiation. Because anybody that's outside looking at it, we all gonna say, bro, you got yours on the front end, and we know you're gonna get that second year. And that was the whole argument that people have for L. Bell. But my thing is a different position. The injury probability for L. Bell at running back, year 1 to year 2, infinitely higher than Pat Freiermuth.
And with him already having bad injuries. I know Muth was injured last year, but it happened multiple times with Bell.
And that's the difference. It's like for Muth.
And the weed stuff with Bell.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. 100% was a lot more going on. Whereas with Muth, it's a lot more safer for him in this capacity as well. Because even if he were to have a crazy injury, God forbid, right? We would not look at him as, man, he can't come back and still give you something. Whereas we got real questions about Nick Chubb right now, right?
Yeah.
What does that even look like when it returns? If he played tight end, we like, bro, he still can catch. You can go from being an elite tight end to, okay, you're a great possession tight end. You can still block. Whereas with that running back spot, it's just viewed differently because of what those guys need to actually produce. So that's the other part where I'm like, for Muth, man, I think it's a win for him, man. I like it for both parties.
Yeah, I even like it more for the Steelers after looking at these details and how it's going to play out from 2025 to 2028 and how they can get out of it. Yeah, because that was the big question. I saw 4 years, $48.4 million when the news came out, and you just had to wonder what's going to be the guarantees here. It's going to be half, but it's even less than half. It's 11.6. And, yeah, they got this thing in a way where we could be saving on the cap as soon as next year if we really want to.
It's a great problem to have, man. We're in a great situation right now, man.
Yeah, but
great situation
I'm with
right
you.
now.
I just don't really see a scenario where we don't see Muth back for 2025. Because even if he gets hurt or has a down year, I think we'd be willing to see at least one more season of him. Then after that, maybe you have those type of conversations.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you get him in his prime here from age 26. That's this year. All the way up to 2028, he'll be 30. At fair market value, too. That's fair market value.
And we think he still can be a lot better. And he's already a really good player, but we think he could be a lot better, though.
Right. So for the Steelers, if you didn't get this deal done before week 1 and Muth goes off for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, now you're talking about potentially paying him Travis Kelce type of money.
Which is a big difference. Yeah, but if he gets to that level, like you said, it's a
you're
great
not
problem to have. We're not tripping on that.
And it's not as big of a discrepancy as other positions because I think Kelce's only getting like 17
we're talking
or 18.
Another $5 million on top of where he's at right now, not another 10 or 20 million.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you look at the guys that are getting less than Muth, it's like Noah Fant, Hunter Henry. I don't remember the other guys like off the top of my head, but it's guys that you would clearly say Muth is better. He's a tier above those dudes. Those guys are getting paid like $10 million, $9 million. So Muth's right in the range where he needs to be. He got some security. Steelers got him on the books for these next, I guess it's technically 5 years because this year was already on his previous contract. We got him all the way to 2028, no matter what he does, like if he outplays the contract or not. Now, obviously, if he does, you might have conversations midway through this contract where he wants to restructure, wants a new deal. Like that's the natural thing about this.
But for him to get to that means he has to be producing consistently and at a high level.
If we're having legitimate conversations about that, I'm not going to be complaining.
Yeah, That's going to be no different in a year from now when we talking about paying GP. It's not going to be a negative. It's like, yo,
Right.
he's balling, so we want to take care of him. To what extent? That's what we'll figure out.
And the other thing that's going to mean is he outplays the contract up to that point if we're having those conversations, right?
What does that look like, though? 1,000 yards?
Yeah, you're getting close. You're at least 800.
Flirting with double-digit touchdowns?
At least 800-900. Yep.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9 touchdowns a year.
Because when I think of 12 mil a year at the tight end spot, that's what I'm like, I need a band from you. I need at least 1,000.
Okay, really? You're saying outplaying 12 mil or
Yeah,
12 mil?
yeah. I feel like to outplay it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't feel like you need it to make 12. I feel like anywhere between
I think
6 to
700
8,
and
6 to
5
8,
touchdowns
yeah.
probably, the 12 million range.
Right. 6 to 8 with the multi touchdowns, that's 12. But to get more than 12, I feel like you need to be 1,000-yard tight end. Like that type of range or it's kind of like the Saquon argument. We know Saquon has the ability to be the leading rusher every year. Now, does he get hurt and that sways it? Sure, but we know what his potential and what he's actually shown when out there. If it looks even like that, I think that's in those same veins of, yeah, you pay those guys a little bit more.
Good deal then. I think we're in agreement.
Shout out, man. Shout out to the comment.